Welcome to a video proposal for lecture demonstrations offered to students worldwide by Dr. Paul Ekman.
You're going to see a sample of a lecture demonstration that will cover 8 different parts of the work I've done in the last 50 years and how it's being used in diverse fields, from basic research on emotion, parent-child interaction, anti-terrorism, entertainment animation, psychotherapy, on every transaction we have in which important matters are discussed involve expression, gesture, and emotion. Now, the very first segment is about Charles Darwin, because that's where this work began in the publication of his book, Expression of Emotion in Man and Animals, in 1872. Darwin claimed in that book that our expressions are universal not just to our species, but shared with other animals, but that our gestures are conventional, different from one culture to another. In most of the 20th century, until I discovered his work in the middle 60s, Darwin's work was either ignored or rejected. In the next chapter, you will learn about the research that I did to test Darwin's ideas about both expression and gesture to determine whether he was right or wrong. Critical to testing Darwin's idea was to find a people who wouldn't have had an opportunity to learn either expressions or gestures by contact with the outside world or the media. So I made an expedition to the highlands of New Guinea to study a Stone Age culture in 1967 and 68, people who had not seen magazines, films, photographs, or many outsiders. If these people's expressions were the same, but their gestures different, Darwin's claim would be proven. In one of the chapters, I'll show you some of the materials from that research which settled the question quite decisively. There are 7 emotions that have a universal expression: anger, fear, disgust, sadness, enjoyment, surprise, and contempt. Now, there may be other emotions that don't have a signal, but one of the prime characteristics of an emotion is that others know how you're feeling. They can see it in your face and hear it in your voice. Emotions such as envy, or some people consider jealousy an emotion, or shame, don't have a specific universal signal, just the 7 I've identified. Once I had evidence that emotions had universal expressions, I had to try to explain why would it be that so many wise people, travelers, businessmen, anthropologists, had said just the opposite. And the experiment I did in Japan was able to show that in private, when people didn't know they were being observed, Japanese showed me the same expressions to the same situations as did Americans. But due to what I call display rules, the rules we learn in the course of growing up about managing our expression, when an authority figure was present, then Japanese covered negative emotions with a mask of smiling. And then you see the public difference. So in private, universal expressions; in public, socially, culturally different management of emotional expression. In Darwin's expression book, I discovered, through his citations, the work of Duchenne de Boulogne, a French neuroanatomist who had published a decade earlier. In another chapter, you'll learn how I built on Duchenne's pioneering work to develop the first comprehensive tool for measuring in quantitative terms facial movement. The facial action coding system was published nearly 30 years ago. The first instrument that allowed us to specify how many different expressions a person can make when we see the same expression, really had musical notation for the face, being widely used in everything from advertising to entertainment animation films.
What for?
Nothing.
He put a tack on the teacher's chair during class.
Nobody saw me. You could barely see it on the tape.
They caught you on tape and you still got away with it? Whoa! You must have been booking. How fast do you think you were
Bob,
going?
we are not encouraging this.
I'm not encouraging. I'm just asking how fast you
Honey!
In developing the facial action coding system, I had to learn how to make each of these expressions on my own face. And when I made some expressions, I was surprised to find that I experienced physically in my body the emotion. That led to a new line of research covered in the next chapter about how the facial movement, voluntary facial movement, can turn on the physiology of emotion in the body and the brain. I'm going to give you a number of exercises that will involve constructing on your face, muscle by muscle, different emotional expressions. These are expressions we have found in the past are universal for our species. So now if you'll just look into the camera and clear your mind of any thoughts, memories, or feelings. Now I want you to lower your eyebrows, and that's it. Now raise your upper eyelid. Now tighten your lower one just a little bit. Keep that upper eyelid raised. And now press your lips. That's it. Hold it. All right, now rest. Can you tell me what you felt in your body?
Tightness right here in the chest. Kind of a heat at the core as well. And a very strong sense of focused concentration.
And any memories?
I think I felt a defensive feeling, like when I'm at work and I feel threatened.
And when that expression appears on your face, like at work, are you aware of it?
Yes, very. Working in the ER, I have to be very aware of what my face is showing, and I try to release it immediately.
Now, what you were, of course, constructing on your face was one of the standard angry expressions, controlled anger. You weren't shouting and screaming, but nevertheless, you were preparing. We also see that before a violent act, and it should have produced in your body if we were measuring it, and in the research we've done, it's the background for this, we have measured people's heart rate, which goes up 10 to 15 points. Your blood pressure should have been up, and your skin temperature. So tight, contained pressure in a hot container, that's the metaphor for this. All right, this time I'd like you to stretch your lips horizontally. That's it. Now raise your eyebrows up as high as you can and pull your eyebrows together, up a little more. That's it. Hold it. All right, rest. Take a cleansing breath. What'd you feel in your body that time?
I felt very anxious, very worried. Felt tense to be in that.
Did you feel hot again or cold?
Hot again, but also like not the kind of hot that felt strong, the kind of hot that felt uncomfortable.
Our research shows that when you do that, it does raise your heart rate like the anger expression does, but a lot of the blood goes to the large muscles in your legs, preparing you to run away. Not that you necessarily have to, but over the course of human history, that's what most people who survived did when they were in that kind of terror state that I was getting you to create. Ready to try a third?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So look into the camera. Pull the inner corners of your eyebrows up in the center. Slightly look down, not all the way. Up in the center. That's it. Now pull the corners down. That's it. Now try to raise your cheeks. A little more. Corners up, the center. Hold. All right, let that go. Take a nice cleansing breath. Giving you an emotional workout. I see a little bit of tears in your eyes. So what'd you feel?
Sad.
Any memory come to mind?
Yeah, I in my work see a lot of sadness. And I was thinking of some of the families I see who are losing loved ones.
What'd you feel physically?
The more my eyebrows came up, the more my eyes wanted to fill up, and my heart just felt heavy in my chest. It's kind of I felt like it's a paralyzing feeling, not one where you're ready to go, but one you're going to get stuck in.
Loss. Terrible loss.
Mm-hmm.
Last one. Look into the camera. Let your lips part a little and wrinkle your nose. Hold it. All right, relax. What'd you feel with that?
It was kind of the least heavy of all the other ones. Just kind of felt uncomfortable. I did feel a little bit of my heart rate rising though, or at least like kind of some energy building more than just a tranquil state. So.
Did you ever have that feeling?
I'm assuming I do. Unpleasant smell or something. So I think with the nose, or just something you don't really want to see, don't really want to deal with. Even I could imagine feeling that for yourself when you make a stupid error. Kind of disgusted with yourself maybe. Well, on what you're doing.
Do you ever get disgusted with another person?
Oh yeah.
You do.
Of course.
Actually, the research shows your heart rate goes down a little bit with that, and rather than up. But there is some other aspects of physiological arousal. And, well, thank you very much. Sorry to put you through all of those terrible expressions. My lifetime of work is really based on the work of three gentlemen. Darwin, I've already mentioned, Duchenne on facial movement, and David Efron, an Argentinian anthropologist who in the 1930s was to first really follow up on Darwin's idea that our gestures are a culture-specific language. He did this work to challenge the publications of the Nazi social scientists who said in the 1930s that you could identify the inferior races from their gestures. My work on what Efron termed emblems, symbolic movements that have a precise meaning, sometimes a different meaning, one culture to another. Has specified the vocabulary of this body language in different cultural groups, in a Jordanian or a Korean, or in any group we might choose to study. If you were talking on the phone and a friend came in to see you and you didn't want to stop talking, what would you do?
Just wait. This is...
Like that, wait.
Yeah, wait.
Okay. So like that is wait.
Yeah, I'm on the phone.
Okay. And so what's the difference with wait a minute?
Wait a minute is just 1 minute, and wait is...
Like that.
Wait regardless of whether it's a minute or not.
So if you go into a store in Jordan, and the sales clerk is talking on the phone to a customer, and you're standing there with a garment you want to buy, what would they do to tell you you need to wait? Would they do this for wait or this for a minute?
I'm trying to remember, and
If you're not certain,
I'm
that's
not
fine.
really sure because
Could you do either?
I think you could do either, but they usually smile, which I think is the most important part.
Is to smile.
Yeah, with Jordanians are like I'm sorry. That's
Oh,
the idea.
now the hand. What's the hand mean?
I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry, just 1 minute. Or
Okay.
just because this is usually like, wait, I'm serious, I'm the authority figure. I just need you to wait for a moment until I deal with that, and then I deal with you.
So on sorry, are there other contexts where you could say sorry?
Wow. It's amazing how I never actually think about those things.
Oh, of course you don't. You just do it, right?
Yes.
I can
I'm
think of
sorry. Yes,
things-
this will probably be, I'm sorry, like,
sorry.
forgive me, actually.
Forgive me.
me is more like...
Now, does the head go down with that like you're doing?
Probably,
Do it again. One more time. Okay. You're doing something with your eyes.
Am I?
And that's all good. So I just
Okay.
don't want you to worry about what it is you're doing. Just
Okay.
do it.
All right.
Okay. So I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Now, what is that?
That's usually stop. Okay.
Stop.
Yeah.
Not I'm sorry.
Okay.
Could it be either?
Okay, let's try this. I would do this as forgive me. I would do sorry as probably like forgive me, but in a different way. If I'm an authority figure, I'll be doing this for I need you to wait. 1 minute is okay, just 1 minute. I'll be right there with you. And this is usually stop and just back away.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or when you do this to someone, are you saying that they're getting too close?
Yeah.
They have to
that
back off?
I need you to stop and just stop.
Can you think of a situation in which you would do this to someone?
Definitely. I think if someone is angry or upset, I would just do this. Like, okay, now you're getting way too angry and I need you to back off.
If you wanted to say to someone, come closer. Okay.
Is that universal or no?
Yeah, it is pretty
Yeah,
common because it's,
right.
it's your own body and you're,
Come here.
I can't hear you.
Wow. I can't. It's funny how I'm actually realizing things I never paid attention to, but I can't hear you. So I'll point at my ear, I think.
Point at your, how about kill someone? And with the sound, huh?
Oh, well, no, not necessarily.
That's sufficient. How about suicide?
Suicide. I think this. Anything pointing to the neck.
To the neck. But in the beginning group I worked in, they did this for suicide because people would hang themselves.
Well, you can kill yourself in more than one way.
You can. That's what I'm trying to figure out, though. In Jordan, how do people, is there a particular popular...
That's the thing. Suicide's a bit of a taboo in Jordan.
Yes.
It's not...
So would you refer to it at all with an emblem?